What's up, YouTube? It's your friendly neighborhood gamer, your host, Coach Key, and welcome to Legends and Dice Cafe, where we learn about tabletop RPGs from old school to modern. Back with my weekly video, like I do every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And today's video is going to be a session 0 for my D&D solo adventure. And today, we're going to try out using a pre-written module. Dragons of Stormwreck Isle from the starter set. I'm going to attempt to run this solo, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to run it solo. Kind of came up with the idea today, and I think it sounds pretty cool. And I'm also familiar with it because I just finished my very first campaign. Thank you. I finished my very first campaign that I ran as a dungeon master, which was really exciting. I learned a lot of cool stuff. And I had a good time. I had a really good time. And this was a really simple, really easy adventure to run from a new DM's perspective, at least. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our session 0 for our solo D&D campaign. Let's get it. Again, I'm using Dragons of Stormwreck Isle. This was my very first session with my players, October 5th, 2023. But it was a really easy campaign to run. I did change some things up, and I'll show you the few things that I changed up. But I am very familiar with it since I've already ran it before. And initially, I tried running this solo. I was using DM Yourself to start it solo. This is the very first time and the very first ttrpg that I played solo. I didn't finish it all the way out, but this time I wanted to do things a little different. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to run this. I already know I'm going to use a Dragonborn, and this is going to be my Dragonborn, a Dragonborn Barbarian, I'm thinking, for my character. I'm going to do 2 characters. And then, of course, I think I'm going to use this one for my cleric, because I think I'm going to play a cleric and a barbarian. So I'm probably going to build those characters off screen, but I definitely know that it's going to be a barbarian. They're both going to start at level 1. So, and while I got you guys on camera and none of my friends are into tabletop RPGs at the current moment, let me share with you something. And so the next campaign that I'm going to run is going to be Dragon Heist. And I've already started trying to start reading through it so I can understand what was going on in the story. It seems like a pretty cool campaign. First, we'll start with Dragons of Stormwreck Isle, and then the next solo adventure will more than likely be Dragon Heist. So, and also, let me share with you my new D&D notebook. Oh, I was so excited. I was so excited to get this. I love notebooks, and I thought this was super cool. It was $12 on Amazon. Man, look at this. This is such a cool notebook. The artwork is super cool. This thing has some pictures in it. Look at that. That's so cool. Look at that. I'm excited. And then, of course, it has, does it have any more pictures? One more in the back. Boom. And then it has a little slot, a little sleeve, so I can stash drugs. I'm just kidding. So I can stash stuff in there. This is such a cool notebook, and for such a really great price too. So let me tell you how I'm going to actually run the module. Since I already kind of know how it's going to go, I'm going to use some tables that will help me to randomize things, so that way, we get some good surprises. And honestly, the idea that I had was using the tables in Dragonbane. I love that it came with a solo adventure, and you can actually do so much with this solo adventure. An exploration table where you can roll for the location details, the inhabitants. I'm going to, of course, change the what's inside of the tables, different types of creatures. Look, you can tell that I've definitely been using this bad boy. So if you're not familiar with Dragons of Stormwreck Isle, yeah, you come to Dragon's Rest and you're gonna do a few main missions. You're gonna meet a dragon. I changed her name in here. I don't know what her actual name is in here, but I changed her name to Lily because I like it. I like the name Lily, so I changed her name to Lily in here. One of the main characters. I changed a lot of different things, I think because there was so much time in between the 3rd session and the 4th session, this was a really simple and very fast module. It only took 4 sessions to take care of it. Of course, you could extend it if you wanted to, but I didn't want to do too much my first time around, so But there was so much time between the third session and the fourth session, I kind of forgot a few details. But what I did was I just kind of made it up along the way, and we all had a great time. So in the module, you have 3 main missions. You've got Seagrow Caves, Cursed Shipwreck, and then the Clifftop Observatory. Dragonbane, how the solo adventure works is so you've got waypoints, and waypoints are information that you already know what's going to happen. You already know what's going to be in that room. And then you have areas in here where they're unknown, and that's when you get an opportunity to use your different random tables to see what's going on, since some of the areas are unknown. And that's how I'm going to actually set up this this one as well. See, since it's a pre-written module, there are things that we already know. I was also thinking about creating the map as we go along, so that way it leaves room for change and for randomization. We're going to, all the information that we know, we'll consider those waypoints, and again, to add in some randomization, we'll add other areas as well where we don't know what's going on. So this one has it in sections. You've got B1, B2, B3. So this will be our first waypoint, since we already know what's going on. And I'm going to add some different, I think I'm going to add some more monsters in here as well. And we'll redraw that cave one step at a time, so that way, again, it'll be some surprises. You would typically get your mission from different NPCs. Since we already know the locations, we're going to go ahead and start our characters right on Dragon's Rest, which is going to be their place of rest, and where they're going to recoup and all that good jazz, where the characters will go, and it'll just be a mission board, and I'll come up with an idea on why we were brought to Dragons of Stormwreck Isle. So this will be a pretty interesting story, because this will be my first time trying to, or attempt to, run the adventure in this particular way. But that's the point of the channel, is learning through experience. So this is going to be our home base, Dragon's Rest. Now, as far as the NPCs, I'm going to make a table for the NPCs and information, cool information that the characters will come upon along the journey. And whenever we run into an NPC, we'll roll on that information table that I will create. Those will be great opportunities for the characters to learn a little bit more about Dragons of Stormwreck. Dragons of Stormwreck Isle. And if you're not familiar with this module, then this should be a pretty cool adventure if you do take the time out to stay tuned. And see where we can actually take this adventure. And I'm going to just stick with the player's handbook when it comes to creating my characters, subclasses as well. I'm going to just stick with the player's handbook. And if you're new to D&D 5th edition and you're curious about how to create your character, leave a comment below, because we can definitely go through character creation in a video. And you already know we have to use some of these Dragonbane standees, okay? Now, I've also been running Dragonbane solo, so if you're new to the channel, go and check those videos out. I have a part 1 and part 2, and I will be dropping part 3 very, very soon. I enjoy playing these solo sessions. They are a lot of fun. And I get a chance to really learn some great opportunities. And some of the things that I've actually learned through solo play, I bring it over into my games. So for my next campaign, Dragon Heist, so far I only have 1 player. So I had 5 players for Dragons of Stormwreck Isle, but 3 of them were the ones who were consistent, and 2 of them won't be able to make the next campaign, or can't dedicate time to the next campaign. So if you're interested in joining the game, we're not going to probably start this game until probably, I don't know, mid-February, at the end of February. I'm only thinking of doing 6 players, so that just in case 1 or 2 don't come, we can still continue forward with the game. If you're interested in joining a game, remember, I'm a new DM, and this is only my 2nd campaign. Add me on Facebook. I'm going to leave it above. Add me on Facebook, and then we go from there. Now, again, some of the tables I'm going to change out some of the information inside of it, like the traps. I like this search table right here. I think I'm going to stick with it. You've got a concealed foe, a trap, a secret path. I thought that was really interesting. And then we've also got hidden treasure. In Dragonbane, a hidden vault has 2 treasure cards, because it has these little deck of cards. I like the hidden vault. So instead of doing cards, because we don't have any cards with the D&D 5th edition, at least I don't, I'm just going to add multiple treasures inside of that. So I'm definitely going to stick with this search table. The traps we're going to play around with. Inhabitants, we're going to change some of the monsters around. I'm going to grab my monster manual once we get off of here and then add some monsters in. And then location details, I'm going to keep that as well because I like that. For location details, you've got contents, environment, oddity, and danger. But we won't know until we try it out. So we'll definitely test it out while we're playing in our first session. And then it's got an area table as well. I like that. You'll roll on the area table, expansive hall, forgotten library. These are interesting. I'm going to keep this as well. And then, of course, we'll keep the fortune chart. So then we can do basic yes or no's and see if there are monsters, how many monsters there are, and so on and so on. So that's going to be the gist of how we're going to actually run Dragons of Stormwreck Isle. So if you're interested in checking it out, stay tuned for session 1 that I will definitely be dropping within the next few weeks. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you enjoyed the session 0, and I'm looking forward to actually running this with my characters. So make sure you stay tuned for our first session with D&D 5th edition solo adventuring using a pre-written module. Make sure you hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. And turn your notifications so you don't miss out on any of the cool content that I drop weekly. And before I end this video, I just have to tell you that this is my very first Dragon Ball shirt that I've ever had in my entire life. I just finished Dragon Ball Z series a couple years ago, recently finished Dragon Ball Super, and I love it. So I was very excited to find this shirt and find one that actually fit comfortably. So I'm pretty proud of it. As always, thank you so much for taking the time out to watch the video and support the channel. Stay tuned for more content, and I'll see you guys next week, same time, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you guys, as always, have a super fantastic evening and a super fantastic weekend. Peace.